Well, good morning to you once again. It is I, old Grandpa Peter Coyote, coming to you from our little place here in Crestone, Colorado. It's been interesting lately. Lots of changes going on, of course. Been down and out and back up again and round the old roller coaster ride. But just like the roller coaster ride at the amusement park, there is a time when things settle down, the coaster gets on that last little straightaway, squeaks into the depot and sets its brakes. And everybody gets out of the ride and goes out in the amusement park to see whatever else they can find to entertain themselves with. And I know it sounds crazy to most of you, but everything you've accepted in this life as natural and real is going out the window as this ride, this roller coaster ride, comes to an end. And we're very close to that time now. You look around you and all you see is death. You see an economy that's dying. You see a planet that's dying. You see inside yourself the seeds of death. Illnesses you can't understand. Chemicals in your food and water and the atmosphere. Everywhere you look, it seems like it's death. Death, death, death. Well, what's death but a transitional step? There's a divide, a division we've created between our true natural self, our paradise self as I call it, and this world in which we live, this matrix, this divine movie in motion, creating itself as it goes along. You see, consciousness is just raising your mind up to where it can think and see beyond the established norm. What we accept as normal is only a speck of reality. It is like a stage upon which we play out our lives. Lives, because there's many of them. But truth is just a step beyond that, just like what you don't see in the movies. The directors, the cast and crew, all the prep work, the little mini 3-second shots that take hours to put together just right. And then the editor that cuts it all together and makes a motion picture out of it. You don't see any of that when you're there at the movies watching a movie or watching it on your TV, whatever. All you see is the experience of it. That's what you know of the motion picture you're watching. The feeling of it as it takes you through somebody's story or many stories that brings you to a conclusion, a completion, just like the end of the roller coaster ride. And of course there are those with sinister minds that would make movies into things that are meant to lead you to a different destination. Make you feel so depressed you'll never want to come back to life, let alone walk out of the movie theater. But in this paradigm in which we're living, where everything seems so black and white and red all over, death everywhere, we're coming back to life. Even though the evidence tells you the exact opposite. Look at the evidence inside. See how you're seeing things much differently now. You're beginning to understand things that seemed to you before not to be understandable, let alone livable. Go inside through meditative techniques and practices and see what's in your heart. See your true nature. And know that you just adapted beyond that true nature, which is pure essential love and cares about everything and everybody, into a more unfeeling place in order to, quote, quote, get along in this world. Huh. And it happens from the time we're tiny babies. We're taught brutality early on, and it becomes our accepted norm. So is it any wonder that we don't question death and birth? These things came into being because we had a very specific purpose to fulfill here, and it's in your heart. You'll understand it and you'll know it as you go along here. But consciousness is making a comeback, and those that seem separated from us by death will be seen as the living. Many of you are beginning to see them now and think you're seeing ghosts and so on and so forth, having a spiritual experience. But you're rising above the fray, and you're some of the first. You're here to do that. You're here to open those doors so that what you see others can see. You're here to experience the full life, the many levels of the natural life, which is, of course, essential love, manifesting itself as individual beings, a part of the great cosmic collective, which is one being with many personalities. And that's what we're here to reflect and be. But we don't even notice the influence that moves us along, how it is, how it always has been. We don't see the cast and crew, but now we're beginning to. And as your consciousness rises up from the mud, the mire in which it's been stuck in, as the roller coaster ride gentles out, you start to see and remember what was there before we began this ride. Now, I've already told you one little journey, one little story of maybe how death began here. And maybe death wasn't always the way. Maybe life wasn't always born forth of the mother in the way it is now, or the way we see it. Maybe there's something behind all of that, beyond all of that, that's moving us. And maybe as we become more conscious, as we allow this mind to expand enough to not be afraid to see the cast and crew, to understand the paradigm in which we live, the true nature of it, the direction of the heart, which is the all-knowing, all-seeing eye inside of each and every one of us. Then we begin to see how we've been manipulated into accepting division as a part of our path. And to see dividing lines between ourselves and others and everything else. To see ourselves as something separate from the very earth in which we live, which is perhaps the greatest lie ever told or ever swallowed by any living being. Heck, we're a part of everything that lives. We are that life living. And as we come forth to realize that, it puts an end to the cycles of birth and death as we know them. It takes away the reasons for war. Because all there is then is essential peace. Love only knows its own prosperity. its abundance, its boundless caring, which would let not a sparrow fall, not a human being fail, not one person left to survive anything. We are everything. We are that living truth, that great wonder of love in motion, in activity, in experience, which is to say, to feel, in here, and know what we are. And we've chosen this path away from ourselves, divided away from ourselves, in order that we can appreciate the going on of living. By seeing the darkness and feeling the grief and the pain, the separation, the absence of love, we've created in ourselves a boundless enthusiasm, a deep appreciation for reality, the truth of love, as it comes forward from inside of us. This coming back began a long time ago, many generations. But in my generation, it's been coming to the surface consciousness of all of humanity. It's something from which no one can hide. And those that practice death, the killing of other souls they think, are only going to find life. These are some of the first that are coming back to life. These that have created so much death. The last shall be first. The lowest become the highest, because they were able to endure some pretty dark and ugly things. So it's only a natural reward that they should awaken to the land of the living and be able to reincarnate in this way all the souls whose lives they've taken. It's a difficult concept to grasp, because everything seems so black and white here, so set in stone. But stone, as we know already, is very malleable when heat's applied to it, and it's reformed with intelligent thought, and stone can become automobiles and trucks and cars and airplanes and boats that float on the water. Nothing's cast in hardness. There are no absolutes. What our understanding is today changes as we make our way into tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, until there are no more days and nights. Even that cycle goes away as we begin living our truth in the daylight of love. This is the dawning of human consciousness. And yeah, as you become awakened, you're going to see some things inside yourself that aren't very pretty. But you're here to love those in a natural way. And in this way, bring uncontainment, opening, to hearts that have only felt closed before now. By allowing this opening in yourself, this acceptance of truth, this dynamic of worthy love in everything that lives, a removal then of the sense of value and purpose, because you understand the deeper purpose and the value in all life. It's called equity. The beauty of a single pine needle on a tree, a single snowflake in a storm, a single human as they make their ways, back to the land of the living. These are living works of art. This is beauty and wonder in motion. Have you ever stopped to look at the feather of the sparrow that just fell down before you and seen the amazing intricacy, the patterns of beauty and love in a single feather? And does that not bring forward from within you a deep appreciation for the natural love that lives in all life? And would you not, of course, like to see a time of the end of suffering, even though your soul has greatly enjoyed the suffering and its ability to endure suffering and the prolongation of suffering, death, conflict. Wow. How we've managed to survive is a beautiful thing in itself. We do this poetic dance called love all the time, yet don't see it and don't understand it. But now we begin. Now we come forward from that dark place inside, and we learn to love that darkness as well as the light, because we see past the illusion of it. We know the reality of the heart that lives in darkness, that truthfully serves the light, and that is in love with its own life, though it would hardly know it. But now through the divine blessing that comes through you, the person that you are, as you begin to understand and see yourself, those that live in darkness are right there with you. They have invaded, and they come forth to see it too. It's the rescue crew, babies. We've come back to change it. And one fine day soon, we're all going to awaken to an entirely different earth. One that we know secretly in our heart. One that we're about to give way to. Because that creative source, that essence of love that creates life, is revealing itself through us as its divine instruments. Each of us is like a harp in angels' hands. And we play the most beautiful tunes, and they're all in harmony with one another. Continue to experience this life. But don't let the programming of your mind fool you. Notice the programming. Notice how programmed you are. And then you've changed it. And you begin to see beyond limitation. And you can look at an airplane in the sky, perhaps that's spewing out poison. And you can love that moment enough to let that poison be love. Fertilizer for the fields of life. So instead of poison, it becomes diametrically opposite of what it's created to be. And the mind that created it right along with it, because you can experience this moment of love, changes. And no longer are the seeds of death spread everywhere. This is how we clean up our planet and our lives. It takes a lot of internal soul searching. And many of you will be slowed down to the place where you have to deal with this. Because it keeps repeating. It's an energy from inside yourself. It's not pressure. It's love. And it keeps, the cycles are getting shorter, in case you haven't noticed. You keep coming back to the same place again and again and again inside yourself. Because it's time to realize that heart and bring it into motion. You can deny it. You can say it's all mind, that humans are the only thing that live, and we are disconnected. You can say whatever you want. Believe whatever you have to. The truth is revealing itself through you and disproving all of these old fallacies that you so long lived by. And that, my friend, is an end of the dividing nature in life. It's called a reunion. It's when we step forward in love and embrace all of the life inside of ourselves and all of the life that surrounds us in such beauty and wonder. And the veils of division begin to dissolve away, and no longer will they be seen as natural. And what is natural, that is the life built on love, comes forward from inside of ourselves. It's time, babies. We've had our fun with this. It's hard to let go of the solid nature of it, even though it hurts like hell. You've got a certain melancholy inside of yourself that's loved every moment of this experience and wants to see it continue for a while, just a bit longer. Squeeze out the last little bits of flavor you can get. I just recognize that. Don't consider yourself a stick in the mud because you're happening to enjoy the misery and the pain. Maybe there's an abundant wonder inside of you that's ready to step forward and guide you back into your own truth. And maybe this hesitation is just an act of fear, perhaps even of another being acting through you that you've accepted as yourself inside, as a part of your consciousness. You can choose how to see it. In each moment you're living, you are choosing how to see it. And finding something more than balance, but this thing we've called equity, purity in all living life, every bit of which is a wonder to us all. It's so amazing. When you step forward in this kind of love, this is what you begin to see. That is the end of death. Because you will reunite as you realize who you are. You reunite with these others who know you as well as that person that you are. You see how easy it is to end the division, yet why we make it so difficult. It's like we're jumping out of our little cars on the roller coaster and trying to run back up the track and slide down a big hill one more time and around a steep turn and all that stuff. We liked the ride. It was a lot of fun. But it's over. And you may as well accept that, because your ticket's only good for so far. And if you want to get back on the ride again, after you've had a little time to go and gather and collect yourself and begin to realize what's really in the world around you, then you can do that. But you'll do it from a different place, a different form of consciousness. And it will never again be like this place where we are now. Not ever. The change is just that dramatic and poetic. Truth has a way, as you know, of coming forward no matter how hard others work to hide it. They can lock us all up and throw away the key. It's not going to stop it. Because they've just locked themselves up and thrown away the key. Now they got to find a way out of it too. I mean, we're all in this together. Don't look then for a lot of violence upon the earth, even though that seems to be what's coming. The fascist reality wants to reimpose itself, this time across the face of the earth. It seems. But as we end this division between life and death, we take away its reason for being. There's nothing to fear. And the war machines dissolve away. The bombs, poof, become dust. And no one can be injured by that. So if you're one of those that's stockpiling bullets and guns and think you're pretty smart, going to have a lot of dross down there in the basement. Better to supply yourselves with a little food, but you're not even going to need that. There's a way out of this mess. And it's called truth. The acceptance of truth. Let your consciousness guide you. Take you through this a step at a time. It's a personal journey for each person that lives. And each person has their own way of going about it. So don't look outside yourself and judge others, or look inside and judge yourself for the path you've chosen. It's just right. Whatever it is, it's what you need to go through. It's what you need to experience. It's why you're here. And perhaps as you become a little more conscious, you can aid and abet others and see how they aid and abet yourselves. How these invisible energies have been going about, propping us all up and helping us along. But they won't be so invisible any longer. We'll see them as we employ them, and as they're employed with us. We'll begin to see all energy is flowing in one direction naturally, which is expansion in love. This is the day, the time of the expanding human. Challenge your paradigm from in here. And see what your eyes begin to reveal to you. And know what your heart is telling you all the time. You live in the truth. You are love. It doesn't take a lot of ritual or motion. It's more like a calming down, a sitting still inside, a letting go of all the abject thoughts that tear you away from your reality. Of seeing how programmed you are, no matter what position you hold in life. Whether you're elitist scum or the lowest little homeless person ever be, or anything in between. Accept your humanity. And then see what that truthfully means. What seems like weakness is our greatest strength. What seems like the biggest terror is the end of fear. You can love your way out of anything. And I, for one, am living proof of that. And so are you. We've been through a lot together, and as individual beings. But I'm here telling you now, there's nothing to fear any longer. Death does not come to you naturally. It's not a natural way of being. Growth is something we already know. It's learning to feel the experience in which we are involved. To understand the interconnectivity of that experience and how all beings share the same basic experience and can appreciate all experience in a singular moment. Babies, we are love. It's a truth that for most is difficult to accept. Let yourself come to this place naturally. Stand out of the way. Let go of the fear and ride out the ride. and be happy that you've had a chance to be on it, because it's a beautiful place to be. We love you guys. Take care.